Okay, so we're barely half hour, 45 minutes from UFC 286. That's a pretty good card. Enjoyed it overall, and I guess let's not waste any time. These are my immediate. This is my immediate reaction for the card. Any fights in the prelims I really want to talk about? Muhammad Mukayev. Wow, that dude's got that dog in him, man. I mean, he may have jeopardized his career by taking that damage from that knee bar, so tapping, but the dude has heart and he secured the submission. Potentially very dangerous for the flyweight division if he's still going to be very active this year after that. But yeah, let's just get into the main card. The main, I don't really want to have the need to talk about too much. The O'Neal fight was really good. Um, Garner Nelson versus Bam Bam, it went the way that I expected. After watching Bam Bam be controlled by Dos Anjos for 2 rounds before getting submitted, and then taking a short notice fight against another grappler in Garner Nelson, I mean, I kind of expected it, to be honest. Hope Bam Bam gets a more favorable matchup in the future, and best of luck to him, and good job to Garner Nelson. I enjoyed the Jake Hadley fight. I always love to watch flyweights fights, and that was really good. I guess let's just get into the main card. Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. Ooh. Scoring that one's pretty interesting. I think I had it 29-28 Roman, if I'm going to be honest. I think that maybe Vettori could have edged out a 29-28 decision, but 30-27, one of the judges gave him 30-27. It's kind of iffy, man. That kind of makes it a little sus, right? Um, yeah, I don't think he took that first round at all. I don't think there's any way he could have taken all 3 rounds. I had it. Dolidze round one, Vettori round two. Third round was razor close, and it's been a long time since then, so I can't remember specifically. But I guess it's cut so close. I don't really, don't remember definitive winner. But I did give it to Dolidze for his output. Um, but ultimately, yeah, 39, not 39, 30-27 is a wild score for that fight. I think I don't think he deserved that score. But moving on, Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. I mean, banger fight of the night, my fight of the night. To no one's surprise, that was a banger, really good fight. And I guess I mean, I was right for once about an underdog, right? But I was also wrong in some ways. I mean, the outcome doesn't tell the full story, as I always say. So yes, he won, but he didn't win from turning into a brawl, like I thought he would, right? It was definitely evident that. Sorry if the wall is like so bright. I mean, anyways, what was I saying? I scored it rounds 2 and 3, Justin Gaethje. I think that Fiziev took that first round, ultimately 29-28 to Justin Gaethje. And yeah, in that third round, it was all going to come down to that third round. Instead of turning into like a brawl and a slugfest, Justin Gaethje instead just kind of established a jab and then utilized an uppercut. Right, he was able to cut open Fiziev's eye. If it already wasn't cut before, right, he was able to deliver more damage. And yeah, I think he only took that fight. Really entertaining fight per usual. And Rafael Fiziev, I mean, still dangerous. Um, like I said, the outcome doesn't tell the full story, and that was a very close and competitive fight all the way through, for real. Like full honesty, very close. Don't know what that means next for Fiziev, if he's gonna fight the loser of Darwish and Oliveira, or maybe Dustin Poirier, if that fight's still, an idea. I will say if he's fighting at least Dustin Poirier, I am a little worried. Fiziev showed a lot of speed and the ability to take a brawl if it does get into that point. But I'm not here to predict the outcome of that fight, but I'm very curious to see who's going to fight next. I think, yeah, probably the loser of Darwish versus Oliveira probably seems likely. But yeah, Justin Gaethje said that he has one more title run left in him. He said that his time is limited, and yeah, I kind of admire it, to be honest. In the sport, he's 34, right? So he might be past his prime. He might be approaching the end of his prime. And things with combat sports, you never know, right? There are no guarantees in the sport for sure, and especially if you're past your prime. He could go fight longer, or he could regress overnight. We don't know. All those wars might catch up to him someday, and he's acknowledging it, and he's probably going to quit while he's ahead, given that he doesn't win the title within the next couple years or so. Might be a different story if he wins the title, but otherwise this is last shot. If he falls short, then quit while he's ahead. retire from the sport rather than letting the sport retire you. And I can admire that. Big fan of Justin Gaethje, and I'm gonna um, cherish the time, however much time we have with him left, long or short, right? So shout out to Justin Gaethje and a great performance by Fiziev. Now the main event. Let's talk about the main event and the scoring. Scorecards are probably all over the place for a lot of people, a lot of varying scorecards probably. I guess before I give my score, I do have to disclose that I did miss a part of round two. That was the main thing. Um, every second counts. I think I missed a good minute. And so, even if I missed a minute of a round, that could change, an entire outlook on a fight and a round, or on a round and then by extension, the entire fight. So my score was 48-46 Edwards. That's how I scored it. And now I'll tell you which rounds I gave to who. I gave rounds 1 and 2 to Leon Edwards. I think that round 1 was definitively his, with round 2 actually being pretty close. Actually, no. I'll let me give the scorecards first, and then I'll go into detail. Rounds 1 and 2 to Leon Edwards. I gave round 3 a 9-9. I gave round 3 a draw, right? So now our current score is 29-28. No, 29-27. I did 29-27 in the third round. The fourth round I gave to Kamaru Usman, and then the fifth round I gave to Leon Edwards. With that said, I think the only 2 rounds I could pretty confidently say Leon won was rounds 1 and 5, right? The other rounds 2 and 4, were all very, very close. And like I said, I missed a part of round 2, and I believe that Edwards was able to I believe that Usman was able to take down Edwards and unleash a flurry. I think that's kind of what I was understood that happened. When my video reloaded, but I still gave it to Leon Edwards based on what I saw, right? But honestly, each round was very, very close. If I'm being real, like round 2 was pretty tough. Round 3 was pretty tough, especially that point deduction, right? You could have given it a 10-8 Usman, right? And that ultimately changed a lot of people's scorecards. Round 4 was once again also a very close round. I think 2 of the judges still gave it to Leon, but I think I gave it to Usman just to be safe. And round 5 I do think was definitively Leon Edwards for once again a total score of 48-46. Possibly a draw at best. Like I said, I wasn't sure about that second round because I technically only saw 4 minutes of it, and that third round was also pretty crucial and probably really affected how you scored the fight. Draw at best, but I do think Leon Edwards comfortably won that. Otherwise, without the point deduction, I would have had it 49-46 to Edwards anyways. Still a very close fight. What I will say is that, I think that it was probably Leon's favor. It's because that Usman was not as dominating as wrestling this time around. Edwards had a great performance. Whenever, Usman was able to hold Leon against the cage for a good amount of time when he was able to get a hold of him. But for the most part, Leon Edwards was able to break out of it. He did get taken down a few times. When he was taken down, he was not held there for long, and he got back up, right? The factors that I mentioned, we all knew about the factors of, no elevation this time going to, be a factor in him defending. That first round in that second fight, when Edwards had a gas tank, he was able to defend well against Usman. And now with a more full gas tank or, no elevation, he was able to defend for longer. So I think whenever Usman did get his hands on Leon, he did not hold it for long, did not control him for long, did not really accomplish much with his control time. Not in that fifth round, not enough for me to give him that on the fifth round. And then the second round, I did miss a good amount of what happened. So I think he was able to get some punches from what I was aware of. But once again, I don't think it was enough. Edwards was pretty successful on the feet. Usman landed some good shots with his jab and such. And for the most part, Leon was the one doing the damage. Whether or not it was his knees, to the head for some few big moments, his leg kicks, his boxing, and for the most part, was comfortably ahead on the striking. And like I said, he did not stay down for long for me to give Usman a lot of points on control. Like I said, I think I only gave him 1 round technically. Technically only gave him 1 round, I think. So, yeah, great job to Leon Edwards. Great performance. He, did not let Usman bully him. He did not let him bully him, son, right? And this does open up the division quite a bit. We might be seeing Bilal Muhammad get a shot, which this is a biased channel, right? I wouldn't call myself a Bilal Muhammad fan, but I think he deserves it more than Colby Covington, to be honest, right? So I don't think that Colby should get the next title shot. I think that it should be Bilal. You know, if he already doesn't deserve it, you know, once again, you could disagree with me on Bilal, but I think at the very least, I'm going to say I don't think Colby should get the shot right now. But yeah, after dominating for about 2 years, right, 2 3 years, the welterweight division has opened up, and very curious to see what happens. I mean, Leon Edwards with a really great performance there. Um, yeah, I'm very curious to see how that matches up with other contenders. Bilal Muhammad should be really interesting. Colby Covington is, you know, still an interesting fight too. Um, Shavkat Rakhmonov, don't think he's going to be in line this year. Um, Probably by the end of this year and maybe next year, title shot if he keeps winning. But um, once again, very curious about the welterweight division. Gilbert Burns is also an interesting fight, but I also don't think he's going to get a title shot off of Jorge. But yeah, very curious to see what this division is going to look like now. Congrats to Usman. You know what I mean? I think he only won one round in this fight, but still kept it close. Like I said, it was. I didn't say this was not even close. This was a very competitive fight. Like I said, probably about 3 of the rounds were really razor thin close, in my opinion. But should be interesting. I mean, we didn't really see. Um, has Usman regressed? I don't think so. You know what I mean? He still put a lot of pressure. Maybe it's just to illustrate how good Leon is, and once again, without the factors of, you know, elevation, right? Um, we don't know, right? He's 35. He's probably at the end of his prime, but like I said, we never know. Like he could regress overnight, or he could got more in him. Like he says so. He plans to continue fighting, and yeah, I'm very very curious to see what the welterweight division has to say. Um, I'm sure those scorecards were all over the place. You know what I mean? I could see a lot of people scoring it in different directions. So go ahead, leave your scores down below. Let me know how you scored the fights. Your score is a draw. I had it as a draw at best for Usman, but like I said, don't really think so. So yeah, go ahead, leave your scores down below and any of your other thoughts on the card. And yeah, I'll catch you next time for the next UFC pay per view.